So,
Well, I mean, and so what is what would be the sensitivities of this? Because clearly Peyton Manning knows football, and clearly you want to keep your guy happy, and clearly you want to have him feel included, as opposed to let us handle this, Peyton, and you play football. I mean, he's more than just that.
I don't think we ever went that route, but I think in his mind, he understood that we were going to put the team together. We were going to get him weaponry, and we were going to get good people. And I think he trusted Bill that way, and may have had some conversations with him. But he really trusted the process and felt like we were going to get quality people and good people. So there wasn't a whole lot of conversation before the draft. Now, as soon as we picked the guy, now he wanted to know everything. What about him? What's his phone number? When can I get to him? I remember, my last year coaching, we drafted Anthony Gonzalez. Ohio State was, on that system where they don't get out of school until June. So he was, without even talking to us, he drove 2 times a week to Columbus from Indianapolis, took the playbook up there, went over with Anthony, threw balls, drove back, and he did everything in his power to make sure he was ready for training camp. So, yeah, once we got guys, he was all on board.
So who's the guy from your tenure either in Tampa or the Colts that you pounded the table for in a draft, and then you're pleased with the result? Like the guy that you're like, okay, I believed in the kid, and the kid balled out. You got an example for that?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you 2.
Okay.
Warwick Dunn was just – Derek Brooks came into my office at the end of the 96 season, and he said, we need playmakers. I played with this kid. He's great. He's a great person. He will make us a playoff team. And he pounded the table to me for 2 months. And so our scouts liked Warwick. Everybody had the thought, hey, he's 175 pounds. Maybe he can just be a return guy. Maybe he won't be a full-time guy. And once I kind of did the research and with Derek kind of pounding me, then, I was sold, and we ended up drafting Warwick in the first round, and he was fantastic for us. And that was a little unusual. We got hit a little bit, taking a little small guy that high, but he was phenomenal. The other side of the coin, I remember when Robert Mathis came out, we saw the highlight film. Other than Barry Sanders, best highlight film I've ever seen of a college player. Oh, he was incredible. Did everything at Alabama A&M. Made tackles on the kickoff team, blocked punts, sacked the quarterback, chased guys down, 50 yards downfield. Incredible. But then you say, well, 6'1", 220 pounds, where's he going to play? Defensive end, maybe a specialized guy. And Bill Polian watched more and more tapes, saw it, and he said, hey, this is just what you're describing to me. You said this is what you want. This is the guy we need to get. So we're in the 4th round of the draft, and he said we got a chance to trade next year's 4th round pick to get an extra 5th rounder and take him. And I was like, I hate to trade those future picks. That's your lifeblood. And he said, you love this guy? And I said, yeah, Bill, I really do love him. I love everything I've seen. I love the attitude. He said, we're going to get him a year early. We're going to take next year's 4th round pick, and you're going to have him for a full year to develop him. We got to do it. So we did. We made a trade with Cleveland, picked him in the 5th round, and 120 sacks later, he's probably going to the Hall of Fame.
So I just kind of did the GPSing on it during your answer by looking it up on the old internets over here. So you must have been in the Kansas City draft room with, just I guess to go full circle here, with Schottenheimer when you saw the Barry Sanders tape. What did Barry Sanders tape look like?
Oh, incredible. We're having discussions, and it's, if you remember, Troy Aikman, and then there's Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Tony Mandarich, Derek Thomas. And so we've got these great players that we're looking at. Well, what if it goes this way? What if it goes that way? And we had Christian Okoye, and we had some running backs. And Bruce Arians, if this guy is there, we got to take him. And you watch the tape, and it was incredible. But then you watch Derek Thomas. And wow. So we knew we were going to get a good player, but Barry Sanders was incredible in college.
Well, I mean, so Arians, that's right. He was the running backs coach right there. And so that was the end of that. He's like, we got to go get him. But it kind of worked out for Derek Thomas. You were drafting 4th overall. Right. I just called that one up. and Dion went 5th. Dion tells a story all the time, Tony, that this was back in the day when the combine had no organization to it in terms of who got to interview whom. And that you were just standing outside of a hotel room door where the player was inside interviewing with the team, and as soon as they came out, it was a total free-for-all to grab that guy and take a
fighting guy.
Yeah, right.
Getting in fist fights.
Right.
Hey, I've got to get this guy to my head coach, and you better let him go. Yeah.
Dion was telling me that story, and he said he got pulled into a room, by the Giants. And he asked where they drafted, and he said that the Giants said 18th, and he goes, "Oh, you have no shot at me," and walked out the door.
Yes, and I'll give you the background on that. The Giants used to give this personality test. Like 200 questions. So they would get a guy, and he'd be in there 45 minutes or an hour, and scouts would be just outside the door waiting, and it was very, very frustrating. No rules, but I can see Dion saying that. What, you pick where?
No. Yeah, you've got no shot at me, and he walked out. But that said, you're the defensive backs coach for 4th overall. Did you chat with Dion that combine? Did you get it?
I did, but I kind of told him the same thing. I don't think we're going to take you. Don't think we're going to get you, but you don't know how things are going to fall. But he was a special player for sure. So that's what you had. You had me watching Deion Sanders, Bill Cowher watching Derek Thomas, Bruce Arians watching Barry Sanders, and Howard Mudd watching Tony Mandrich. And Howard, to his credit, said, "Hey, we got a chance to get one of these weapons. Tony Mandrich can only block one guy. Barry Sanders can make 10 guys miss and score a touchdown. If we get a chance to take Barry Sanders, there's no way you can take Tony Mandrich." And everybody usually is kind of, sorting their own thing out and trying to make themselves get good. And Howard said, "Hey, no, I'm telling you, don't even think of Tony Mandrich if we got a chance to get one of these other guys." And I learned something that year for sure.
I bet you did. Well, I mean, man, what a staff for Marty Schottenheimer back in '89. Before I let you go, you could take only one player in this year's draft. Who would it be?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.